Hi boys and girls, it's Danielle here today. We're going to have another Bookbug session and this week's topic is Scottish. So things about Scotland. So Bookbug has told me to come here today and he's left me some things. First, he's left me a tartan hat to wear for this session and he's brought a picture with a little note. He's asked me if I can ask you boys and girls at home if you can get mum or dad and try and look up and tell me what kind of flower this is and what is it a picture of. You can either take a video or see if you can try and draw one of these flowers for Bookbug, or let us know by posting a little video or something on Seesaw. But first, we can't read our story until we find Bookbug, can we? I can't hear him. Bookbug. What is that noise? Can you hear that, boys and girls? What is that noise? Oh, I can see Bookbug coming now. And here he is. Hi, Bookbug. What are you wearing today? Bookbug has got his kilt on, he's got his sporran, he's got his special jacket, and if you can see closer, he's got his tartan hat on, just like mine. So, Bookbug was just dancing to all that Scottish music. Could you hear it? Hello Bookbug, how are you today? Bookbug says he's excited to share his Scottish story with all you boys and girls. Let's see what this book is called. Bookbug can sit here and listen to our story too. Wee Granny's Magic Bag. Emily and Harry were so excited they were waiting for Wee Granny. She was taking them to the park while Mum helped get ready for the school fair. They loved going places with Wee Granny. They hoped she'd bring her tartan bag. Tartan like my hat. Surprising things always happened when Wee Granny had her tartan bag. Last Christmas, Wee Granny and the children went carol singing. When Harry's candle burned out, down to a stump, Wee Granny reached into her tartan bag and pulled out. What did she pull out? A lamppost to help him see. Last summer, Wee Granny took the children to the seaside. When they got to the beach, she reached again into her tartan bag and she pulled out, let's see, 3 deck chairs. One for herself, one for Harry, and a pink one for Emily, because that was her favourite colour. There they are on their deck chairs. Wee Granny's coming, Mum yelled out at last. Hello, my bonny darlings, Wee Granny said. I've just brought sandwiches and orange juice for our picnic to the park. Thank you, Wee Granny, said Emily and Harry. Have a nice time, Mum said as she waved them goodbye. Oh, and remember, be good. Would you like to sit down, Wee Granny? Emily asked when they reached the park. On a deck chair, perhaps? Let's find a picnic bench, replied Wee Granny. While Wee Granny was getting the picnic things from her bag, the children tried to peek inside, but she snapped it shut. Harry couldn't stand it any longer. Wee Granny, he asked, did you bring anything else in your bag? I've brought my phone, said Wee Granny. You never know when someone might call. Emily and Harry looked disappointed. Then they heard a ringing noise come from wee Granny's bag. She reached inside the bag again and bring, bring! A bright red, old-fashioned phone box. "I won't be long, my bonny darlings," she said, stepping inside the box and closing the door. "That was your mum," wee Granny said, coming back out. "They need more cupcakes for the school fair. She's asked me to make you some. Will you help, my bonny darlings?" "Yes, please," yelled the children. "We love baking, Granny." "I'll need a big mixing bowl," said Granny. "I'm sure I've got one in this bag somewhere." She rummaged in her tartan bag and brought out a bowl. "And I need kitchen scales, a cupcake tin, flour, butter, sugar and eggs. Oh, and of course, to bake the cakes, I'll need a nice hot oven." Wee Granny said, peering inside her bag. Harry and Emily looked at each other and shook their heads. No one, not even wee Granny, could carry an oven in her bag. "Be careful, my bonny darlings," said wee Granny, placing the oven on the ground. "Don't go too close, it's very hot." Everyone was busy weighing and measuring and mixing. Soon a warm smell of baking filled the park. "Time to do the washing up, my darlings," said wee Granny. The children had scraped the baking bowl clean. Granny reached once more into her tartan bag. "Oh, dearie me," she sighed. "I forgot to bring the kitchen sink. We'll have to do the dishes in the pond. Quick, my bonny darlings, people are starting to stare." Emily and Harry looked up and they seen a small crowd gathering around them. There's wee Granny washing her dishes in the pond. But by the time they'd finished washing up, the cupcakes were ready. They placed them carefully inside some boxes. You can probably guess where the boxes came from, boys and girls. You're right. Gran's tartan bag. "Uh-oh," said Harry. I can see a policeman." "Hurry, children," said wee Granny. "Let's clear everything away." Wee Granny opened up her bag and went in. The eggs, the sugar, the butter, the flour, the cake tin, the kitchen scales, the mixing bowl. "Wow," whispered Harry, as they watched wee Granny squeeze everything back into the bag. Then wee Granny closed her bag, put it under her arm, and she took the children to school to meet their mum and Miss Graham, the teacher. "Thank you, wee Granny," said Miss Graham. "Now we've got lots of cakes to sell on Saturday." And she gave the children a cupcake each for helping. "Don't eat them until you've had supper," said Mum. "Can we put them in your bag, wee Granny?" asked Harry. "Of course," said wee Granny. "I don't have much in it today." "But what about—" "Shh! Shh now, Emily," said wee Granny. "It's time we go home." "Are you coming to the school fair on Saturday?" asked Emily on the way home. "Of course, my bonny darling." "And wee Granny?" "I'm going with Bert." "Who's Bert?" asked Harry. "Bert's my friend," said wee Granny. "Would you like to meet him?" The children nodded. Wee Granny reached into her tartan bag again and she pulled out Bert and I are in charge of the donkey rides. Wow, said Emily. Wee Granny, said Harry, is your bag magic? Of course not, said wee Granny with a wink. I just like to be prepared. And there's wee Granny with her friend. She pulled out her bag. Imagine having a donkey in your bag. I don't think a donkey would fit in my bag. Well, boys and girls, I hope you liked our Scottish story for the week. And I think it's time for me and Bookbug to see if Bookbug can teach me some of that Highland dancing he was doing. Goodbye, boys and girls. Thank you for watching.